Hi folks, in this particular video now I'll be taking you through the factors that affect the supply, the factor other than the price of the product itself, and that is where we had already established that the quantity supplied of a product is actually a function of price. Function of price is here meaning it depends on the price of that product and the relationship between the two was positive. However, it is not just only the price of a product that affects the supply of a product, but then there are other factors too that affect the supply. So please remember the terms of reference. When I said it is the price of the product that affects the supply, I would rather refer to it as quantity supplied, and that was relating to the idea of extension or contraction, that is, increase in quantity supplied or a decrease in quantity supplied. So it was decrease in quantity supplied, increase in quantity supplied. Whereas the other factors that affect the supply could be, let's say, the very first one, the price of the inputs. So if the cheese price becomes more, that is an input to a pizza, you can assume that definitely the supply, the cost of production for pizzas would increase and thus the supply would decrease. And that's the way typically you would understand that the cost is inversely related to the quantities to the supply of a product. And that means if the cost goes up, supply decreases, or if the cost goes down, supply increases. That's the term of reference here. I'm not saying quantity supplied, instead I'm saying supply. Another word, you may want to remember another factor that affects the supply is technology. Technology has a positive role in its own sense because if you have a better technology, your cost of production goes down and thus you can actually supply more. So it is a positive relation. Remember the sign language, this is a cause. So if the cause is increasing, you'll say the effect is also up. It's the question has the answer in principle if you understand these signs. Another one you can think of is the taxes. Yes. What is the effect of the taxes? Positive or negative? It is negative because if you have a tax that is adding on to the cost of production and thus the supply will decrease. And just in contrast of this is the subsidies, wherein a grant by the government, of course, if the business is being supported, more the subsidy, more is the supply. Lesser the subsidy, definitely you would have less of the supply. And the very simple ones you can think of is the number of sellers, or if the number of sellers increase, definitely you will have more supply of a product, and if the number of sellers decreases, you will have lesser supply. Now, how are these depicted on a diagram? Because if you remember when we talked of extension and contraction, it was just a movement along the curve. Remember that it was a movement along the curve, and if the price went up, you would want to have more supply, and if the price went down, you would have lesser supply. And this was how it was, extension or contraction. It is a movement along the curve, I repeat. However, when it is the factors other than the price of the product, and you have to talk of an increase or decrease in supply, you need to have completely two supply curves. So we have already done it before, that supply curve. If I'm not very good at the graphical representation, I can just draw a freehand diagram, put my arm like this, left arm at a 45-degree angle, and this is your supply curve, of course. And this is showing extension or contraction. But how, if I had to show the increase, in supply, what you need to do is, the price is not changing now. The assumption is ceteris paribus for the price, but there is something else that is leading to a change in this supply curve. And this is here an increase in supply. Why is this increase in supply happening here? You can see there is more quantity, but the price is being kept same here. And this could be maybe there's a new technology, maybe the cost of production has gone down, maybe the taxes have been reduced, or maybe there is more subsidy. So this is increase. You can see this here again. Supply curve is here, my left arm at a 45-degree angle, and when I do this, this is increase in supply. But if I had to show increases completely, shift to the right, a new curve. However, if I had to show a case of extension on the supply curve, my arm is just going up like that. Extension, contraction, extension, contraction. So this is how the increase in supply is represented. And to show the decrease in supply, pretty much you can see I'm not doing any extraordinary science or maths here. It is just, I'm again drawing two supply curves. The only part that I'm going to change is the labeling. You can see it here. Now it is Q1. So it is a decrease in supply. So this is showing a decrease in supply. Whereas that was an increase in supply. So you can see this again and again. My left arm at a 45-degree angle is clearly showing decrease, increase. And that's how you can remember the entire concept on supply just by the body language too. So if I want to remember the supply curve, this is my supply curve, decrease to the left, decrease is less for to the left here, and increase in supply. On the other side, extension, contraction, increase, decrease. So this is the terms of reference for supply. And whenever you get a question, try and take up the simplest possible points which you can remember rather than getting worked up too much. So you can easily relate technology with supply. You can easily relate subsidies with supply. Cost of production is a very, very simple fact to understand, and that's a common sense kind of a thing. If the cost of production goes up, you're going to supply less, and that's what you may want to relate to if a question comes on the explanation on differences between increase or decrease in quantity supply. Remember, what is the cause here? Price, or increase or decrease in supply. That is because of non-price determinants. This is it in this particular video. In the next video,